You know, I feel lucky that we live in Brooklyn,
Oh, you
Queens,
got
New
right.
York.
Yeah.
We're very spoiled with the pizza that we have here.
The best pizza in the world.
It is. The only reason anyone should ever go to a pizza chain when you live in the tri-state area is if you're going through some hard times and you have a coupon in your pocket.
Or every other pizzeria in the entire city is closed. I think I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll say this till the day I die. I mean, if you like Domino's, you like all that stuff, God bless you. Enjoy it. But if you're a New Yorker and you have Domino's and you proudly say, I love Domino's, we can't be friends.
You're probably going to get into a fight with somebody.
I mean, you take that to the grave. You lie about it. You tell people tell them whatever. Tell me what. You tell me you love the Pharaohs. Tell me you love L&B. It's secretly behind closed doors. If you want to eat Pizza Hut, if you want to eat Domino's, go right ahead. Enjoy the hell out of it.
Keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah, but there is a finite like amount of space because I know we talk about like a New York slice, but there is a point where New York slices cease to exist because we're not talking about New York City at that point. The entire state doesn't make great pizza.
Long Island does.
Long Island?
I've got to give it to Long Island. Much like Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Long Island does know how to make a good slice also.
Oh, shout out to Long Island.
Yeah. North Jersey.
Geographically, I mean, Brooklyn's on Long Island. Does that count?
It doesn't.
It does not count. Okay, we're not counting that.
No.
Geography.
But that being said,
yeah,
I've never had a slice so bad that I didn't eat it.
No. I don't think that's a thing, right? Like you commit. I mean, with a pizza, you can't make pizza so terrible that it can't be consumed by humans. I saw an episode of the Gordon Ramsay what is it called? Hell's Kitchen. And he's in Denver and he's having this pizza that's just oozing with grease and cheese. And, he's disgusted by it. I just was watching thinking, that looks great. the cheese was just rolling off it. I'm like, I could eat that. I have no problem with that.
Well, the pizza that's been made in a pizzeria is going to have some kind of decent quality to it. I'm not that I've turned down like Elio's frozen cafeteria.
All right.
School cafeteria.
You
type
turned
pizza.
it down?
I've actually taken bites of that.
Oh.
The crust looks like a big oversized saltine.
It does.
Yeah, those pizzas are really nasty. With the sauce is way too sweet and everything.
That's a conversation for another time about the sugar and sauce.
Yeah, I was upstate one time in upstate New York.
Okay.
And I ordered.
Now, do you mean legitimately upstate New York, or do you mean outside of New York City?
I was in Geneseo.
Okay.
Way upstate New York, and I got a slice from this rinky-dink little pizzeria called Mia's. Shout out to Mia's, and their pizza was.
Love you, Mia.
The pizza came with a little container, like a salad dressing container
of what? Marinara sauce?
Of blue cheese.
Okay.
Served with the slice of pizza, and I was actually a little bit insulted that.
Regular traditional slice, not like a buffalo slice.
Regular Neapolitan. To the people that don't know, that's a round pizza that's cut into the triangle pieces. And I took a slice. I took a bite of the slice, and it was really bad. And
so bad that you couldn't finish it.
So bad that I dipped it in the blue cheese. Now, blue cheese, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not aware, is one of the most what's the word? Pungent, but for taste.
Odoriferous. Pungent for what?
Taste.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
It's an overwhelming flavor. It just consumes every taste bud in your mouth. It hides every other flavor.
Right.
And if you don't like blue cheese, and you have blue cheese in your mouth, you're having a terrible time because it's just so overwhelming of a flavor.
Blue cheese is what people put on their wings when they don't want to taste their wings.
Right.
Right.
Now I dipped the slice in the blue cheese, which was assumed what was supposed to be done, and it actually made that terrible slice taste better. And I finished it. I still finished it.
Is it because you like the taste of blue cheese, or because
I think blue cheese masked the taste
right.
of the bad pizza.
No, pizza like that. Mia's, it's time to close.
It's been around for like 30 years.
Well, listen,
it's in a college town, so
all right.
I think it gets most of its business at 11 p.m.
Yeah, poor judgment, and low prices. That's Mia. Mia's you're welcome. I just came up with your tagline for your advertisement. Poor judgment, cheap prices.
I was in Arizona one time, and I ordered a slice.
Yeah.
And this place boasted that it was New York style. We got our dough shipped in from New York. They use the New York water and everything.
I hear that a lot. Yeah.
And I ordered a pie, and
it's brave of you to go all in with a pie without really kind of.
A buddy of mine that was out there said, make sure they don't cut it into square pieces.
Oh, like you're talking about Sicilian pie.
Now I'm talking about a round pie, and they cut it instead of the 6 triangle shapes. They cut it like it was tic-tac-toe.
Is that a thing?
Apparently, it's really a thing.
No,
it really is a thing when you leave the tri-state area.
I'm not extremely religious, but I believe that goes against God's wishes. Pies are not meant to be cut that way.
Not around, but no.
No, I do like that little meme where they always say about the pizzas are boxes with circles cut into triangles. That's how God intended it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't defy his wishes. The tic-tac-toe shape is acceptable for square or a Sicilian, but that's it. Don't do it again, guys.
Yeah. I'm going to return that slice. I'm returning that whole pizza.
Yeah, that is a pretender. That is a faker. That is somebody. That is a pie.
New York style, they claim.
Correct. That is. You are a pretender to the throne. New York style. That really should come with like a legal definition. I know you get to kind of toss around all these terms when you're talking about products and advertising, but New York style should really come with a very clear definition and expectation. Tic-tac-toe cut pie should not exist.
Yeah. And I said to the guy, I don't want it cut in tic-tac-toe shape. And he said, I'll try.
Well, you'd better succeed, sir.
I said, I'm not paying for it.
Arizona. What's up with that, Arizona?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, but in reality, should it matter too much? Because
I need a handle. The crust is the handle.
Oh, so you're not a center Sicilian slice.
I'm perfectly fine with a center Sicilian slice because there's crust on the underside of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is my favorite slice, by the way.
And I told this guy if he sends me this pie with tic-tac-toe cuts into it, that I'm going to put his number in a filthy urinal.
Oh, that is bad. Yeah, that's as threatening as we get.
That's it.
Yeah. That's pretty much
for a good time.
Don't well, that's not me. I was gonna blame Mia's again, but I do blame you for a lot. Mia's Pizza in upstate New York.
Yeah.
In Genevieve's, wherever you were.
That was Geneseo.
Genevieve's CVS.
And if anyone out there in Radio Land eats their pizza with a knife and fork, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, no, that's
calling the cops on
that's a crime. Don't do it. So speaking of, let's say, pretenders, things that are pretending to be something they're not, what do we got on the docket for tonight?
Tonight, we're going to be talking about a man that is a U.S. Marine.
Cool.
He's a master ninja.
Okay.
Master ninja.
Wow. Thank you.
Winner of an international underground fighting tournament.
There's a lot.
Which may have given it away.
This is super cool.
And a swashbuckler.
Okay. Errol Flynn? Is it Errol Flynn? You don't hear swashbuckler too much.
Right. We are talking about the legendary human weapon.
Oh.
Frank Dukes.
Frank Dukes. D-U-X.
D-U-X. Have you ever seen the movie Bloodsport?
Oh my God. I did. Like a lot of other people, I kind of got caught up in the action craze of the 80s. And from what I remember, it's Bloodsport that really makes Jean-Claude Van Damme the muscles from Brussels. That's what makes him a household name, at least, relatively household. I think at that point he was nobody.
He was nobody.
His
first movie.
Yeah. Well, it shouldn't have been. From what I remember, Predator should have been his first movie, but he was going to be the Predator.
That would have been a waste.
Yeah, the
guy in the trees doing a split.
Well, it wasn't. God help me, that split. That is both insane and Jean-Claude Van Damme's kind of trademark split. I got to tell you, I really dug this split in Time Cop, though. Remember Time Cop?
Yeah,
I love that. I unabashed. I love Time Cop.
His cyborg slip. His cyborg split.
Yes,
was the best.
I mean, you know what? The more we think about it,
he killed the guy during it.
You know, I from what Cyborg was that another Canon movie? I think Bloodsport was a Canon movie, and Canon was the production company. It was Canon Pictures.
I think all of those works. I think
if my nerdiness is serving me, and my nerdiness has never let me down. Cyborg was originally written as a sequel to Canon's Masters of the Universe movie.
Get Out,
and then they repurposed it as its own film. That was the Dolph Lundgren. No, Cyborg.
No.
Oh yeah, but that's what is that? Oh God, it's gonna.
There was only one other
Universal Soldier. I'm thinking of, but anyway, no. But I'm pretty sure Cyborg was the one that was supposed to be a Masters of the Universe part do whatever.
It could have been because it takes place in like a post-apocalyptic world.
Oh, not Eternia. But yeah, Bloodsport was a killer movie. I mean, I watched it again recently in preparation for the show.
How great was the acting? As an adult watching it.
Yeah, as an adult watching it. Right. That movie came out, I was 10 years old. Watching it now, I think I sent you a text about this, and I must have shut the movie off a total of at least 10 times. And it's not that long a movie. I shut it off about 10 times. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, I shut it off after the first 3 minutes.
Oh, the dubbing.
The dubbing, and I am not. I'm certainly no editing expert. If you've ever watched any of the videos, you know that's true. But I'm like a couch potato. What do you call it? Couch editor critique. You know, I when I see bad
armchair editor.
Armchair editor. I love that. It's so much better. I'm an armchair editor. When I see a badly edited movie, it vexes me. It vexes me terribly. And this movie vexed me to an extreme. I could not take it. The first 3 minutes it looked like they were edited by a 2-year-old, and it drove me nuts. It drove me nuts.
Editing was an issue in that movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But Frank Dukes is the source from what I remember, right? Like Frank Dukes, he was on set. He helped edit. Yeah,
he was a fight choreographer.
Yeah.
And it was his story.
Wow. So he was
told the story. The story is a true story. The story of Bloodsport is a true story. Right. Actually, ladies and gentlemen,
a story behind Bloodsport? I couldn't feel, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to get there.
Oh my God. Yeah. I again, like I said, watched it recently. And at one point I was thinking, what in the hell is the plot of this movie? And that's something else I said to you. I think it triggered you. But what in the hell is the plot of this movie? So
the plot of the movie is Frank Dukes.
That's it.
A badass with honor.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. The movie's not about anything else.
Right. It was painful. It was painful. I'm a big action fan. I love a good action movie. Love a great story. And this movie had undeniably great action sequences.
No doubt.
I think the movie would have been about a half hour shorter had they cut out all the slow motion action scenes. And another 40 minutes off that if you cut out all the montages. I don't know if there's a record for this, but that movie has to be up there with montage. I'm pretty sure at one point, and I don't know how to articulate this thought any other way, but there was a montage within a montage.
Yes, there was.
And I was about to lose my mind. I think that was one of the points where I shut it off. I'm like, I don't know what I'm watching. How can you have a montage within a it's like those non-linear storytellings where they're like flashbacks, and then there's a flashback in the flashback.
Yes, we're in
a God. Montage within a montage. All about the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Dukes.
Bloodsport was one of my favorite movies as a kid. The only reason I didn't have the Bloodsport movie poster hanging in my room is because my buddy Joey found the poster before me at Spencer's Gifts. If I got the poster at the same time as him, he would have called me a biter.
And this is the solo Van Damme.
This is the cover of the.
Yeah. I can picture it very clearly.
The cover of the VHS.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta give Bloodsport is a damn cool name. You know, you gotta give. Yeah, you definitely know what you're getting into when you see this movie. You know, it's not like Gone with the Wind.
It's a typical 80s action movie with bad acting, terrible voiceovers and storyline that's completely over the top, but legendary fight scenes. The most unbelievable part of the movie was my favorite part of the movie.
The credits.
The closing credits when it claims.
Oh, dude, I was just joking. Okay. I was joking.
Did you not watch the closing credits?
I did.
Oh.
What did I miss? I think at that point I was half comatose.
It claims that what we just watched was a true story.
Right.
And then gives a list of Frank Dukes' real life accomplishments and world records. The guy is a martial arts icon.
Okay, right.
He's an absolute icon.
I mean, I guess you'd have to be for a film like that to be based on your life. And eventually, a franchise and other things as well.
This icon that we're talking about, Frank Dukes, has been accused pretty much by everyone that's ever come in contact with him of being a con man, a liar, and guilty of stolen valor.
Now, he was a soldier, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, but so the stolen valor would come in I can't really wait to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. The story starts, though, in 1945, World War II, before Frank is born. Now, this is all according to Frank.
Frank is telling us about things that happened to him before he was
Frank Dukes is going to be talking about his parents.
Oh, okay.
His genius.
They were there before he was born.
He comes from badass stock.
Okay.
Let me just say it that way. Frank Dukes' parents, which were European Jews, fled Europe. But after Frank's father, Alfred, fights the Nazis as an agent for Mossad before World War II. Now, Mossad was established in 1949. World War II ended in 1945, which means Dad, Alfred, joined the Jewish Brigade in 1939. The Jewish Brigade was formed in 1944. He joined the brigade 5 years before it was made.
I got to tell you, I'm already enraged. I'm already enraged because these would be stellar, amazing accomplishments. These would be great stories. But now, I mean, through the lens of history, and anyone who knows me knows that my background is in history, so I cannot condone this kind of tomfoolery and messing with the chronological order of heroics.
He's not messing with anything. His father was a time traveler.
His father was.
His father was a time traveler, and time traveling runs in the family.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Frank also jumps through space and time in.
Okay. You lost me here.
In his stories.
What? Oh, okay. So are you talking about he tells his stories non-chronologically, as if like
he tells them chronologically,
right?
But there are some dates that only make sense if you have a time machine.
Or hear me out. They make sense. They don't make sense because he's making all of this up.
Let's not even go there. This is Frank Dukes. This guy won the Kumite.
Did he? Didn't
you see it?
I saw.
Didn't you watch Bloodsport?
I saw Bloodsport.
It must be true.
I don't know if that's how movies work. I don't know.
They wouldn't make a movie if it didn't happen.
I mean, you saw Jurassic Park, right? Like you don't. Wait, you don't.
I saw that picture of Steven Spielberg next to the dinosaur he killed.
No, he didn't kill that. No, I
saw it.
No, he didn't. That was a. Oh my God.
Well, one way or another,
we're gonna have to talk about this.
One way or another, this is going to be a sci-fi episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my!
It's also going to be done in Quentin Tarantino Pulp Fiction style, where we're going to be jumping back and forth in time because I really just couldn't figure out a way to make an accurate timeline for all of his adventures. But damn it, I tried. I tried. So enjoy the ride because this is going to be a good one. Oh, yeah. His father, Alfred, used to play games with his son to expand his awareness because he did want his son to be an action star one day or something along those lines. His dad was Mossad.
Yeah.
So he expanded his awareness by throwing things at him when he wasn't looking.
Like a wrench? Like in dodgeball?
He doesn't say what was thrown, but apparently he was never caught off guard.
No, of course not. With those cat-like reflexes, absolutely not.
Also in the year 1945, Senzo Tanaka immigrates to America. We're going to get to who he is to Frank.
Welcome
in just
to
a
America, Senzo.
But Senzo Tanaka is the descendant of 40 generations of warriors. And he comes to America at the age of 53 and immediately joins the U.S. Intelligence Service in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, then Chicago, under the code name James Lee. He then settles down in California.
That's his code name?
His code name is James Lee.
Like if he, in the history of code names, that's pretty lame. He sounds awesome. But like
he wouldn't pass as Dan Jones.
Like I would. No, you see, when I think code name, I think like, Shadow Master or like Stormbringer. That's what I'm thinking. Or
CIA needs to blend in.
Yeah. What was it? Jamie Lee?
James Lee.
I mean, James is a beautiful name.
Yeah.
I'm not biased there.
We're going forward now to April 6th, 1956. Frank Dukes is born in Toronto, Canada.
Oh, shout out to Toronto.
1963, Dukes moves to California.
Shout out to California. That was
1967. This is all important. All right. 1967, the Long Beach International Invitational.
And I assume that's a surf competition.
You're close.
Damn. So close.
It's a karate tournament.
I should have guessed. I don't know why I didn't guess karate.
All right, now
I hear beach. I don't think karate.
this is one of my favorite adventures by Dukes.
Adventures, you said?
Oh, he has many adventures. Frank Dukes watches demonstration of a current karate champion, Victor Moore, compete against Bruce Lee in a contest of who can strike the other faster. It's not a normal fighting contest. Right. It's a contest of who can strike the other first.
Lightning hands.
Bruce Lee narrowly wins. At this demonstration, Dukes asks the champion, Victor Moore, why he competed against Bruce Lee. And Moore answered, if you want to be the best, you have to fight the best.
All right.
Badass answer.
Yeah. And good accent, by the way.
Yeah. That's my California accent.
Yeah, that's good. That was California? Are you sure? I don't know. That
wasn't it though?
That sounded like
Staten Island.
That sounded Staten Island to me, right? I didn't get California.
Well, maybe Victor Moore just he immigrated from Staten Island to California
by way of my cousin Vinny.
2 years later, Dukes sees Moore in the parking lot of another karate event where Moore just beat an absolute karate beast, Mike Stone. Mike Stone has a record of 91-0.
91.
So he just met a guy who beat a guy that was 91-0.
He seems to be in all the right places, all the right times with this on his mission to be an action star.
You need good timing. You got to go on these adventures.
You get to see Bruce Lee. Although, I got to tell you, I mean, just imagine, like, you and I are of a different age. We didn't walk the planet, at least not to my knowledge, right? We didn't walk the planet at the same time Bruce Lee did. I mean, that's got to be a cool world to live in, a world where, like, you have Bruce Lee and other cool people. I'm trying to think, like Albert Einstein, probably all walking the earth at the same time. And, now we have Jake Paul.
And The Rock.
I guess maybe one day in hindsight we'll be like, oh, that was pretty cool. But Bruce Lee, man, just imagine that. Just imagine you going to the beach and there he is. And not only do you see him, but you're seeing him in who could punch the fastest contest. That's pretty damn cool.
That is pretty cool.
I mean, when I was a kid, my brothers used to play who could punch the softest. And
I always lost.
Yeah, I always lost. I don't
know why I kept going first.
I don't know. So stupid. I never learned.
Dukes asked Moore if he remembered him and if he still meant what he said about being the best means you have to fight the best. Moore said,
not California.
He did remember him and he still meant it. So Dukes challenged Moore to a fight. They then immediately began exchanging blows. Moore stops when he's the clear winner, but has taken some punishment himself. Moore was absolutely stunned at how he almost lost.
Now this is the 91-0 guy.
He just beat 91-0.
Yeah, okay.
This guy just beat a 91-0, and this fight takes place in a parking lot.
Yeah. By whose account? Frank Dukes.
Having watched this whole ordeal, a stranger comes over, introduces himself as Lawrence Day. Day tosses Dukes a t-shirt.
Oh my God.
And announces Dukes is now officially a member of the secret Japanese underground society.
Listen,
the Koku Yuri Kai, aka the Black Dragon Fighting Society.
All right.
Frank Dukes is 13 years old.
All right. 13 years old.
Frank Dukes is 13 years old.
Okay, so let me recap this adventure that he has in a parking lot.
Absolutely true adventure, by the way.
Absolutely true adventure by this is like the Illy, like where everyone's learning about the Battle of Troy and it all comes from one source. Here we go. So Frank Dukes, and I'm sure Frank Dukes alone tells this story. This is like those Facebook posts that you read from moms who tell stories about their children going to school and saying, my kid said that vaccinations are wrong. And they all stand up and they applauded my son and they carried him out like Rudy at the end of the goddamn movie. This is that. Listen, it's outrageous. Outrageous. It's an outrageous claim that a 13-year-old.
What's the big deal?
What's the big deal is that anyone with half a brain cell would know that a story such as this has to be fabricated. And they goddamn throw him the shirt at the end. They throw him the shirt. I'm angered by this.
Strapped to the T-shirt just
I know,
to recruit,
just in case he won. I don't know, like.
Well, you know how underground societies hang out ready to recruit.
Where were they? Like a Denny's parking lot? Where were they? I mean,
they were outside of another karate demonstration.
Why would they not go inside? Like, why they
afterwards? They were in the parking lot after the fight.
I'm enraged at the preponderance of lies. I'm enraged.
You're just not in the world of badassery.
No. All right, that's fair. I'm not in the world of badassery. No, I'm in the world of comic book and cartoons. But this is cartoonish. Hey kid, you just beat a world champ, 91-0, right? And now
no, he lost the fight.
No, he didn't lose the fight.
Dukes lost the fight.
I guarantee
Dukes says
is this guy alive? Is this guy alive?
Dukes admits that he did not win the fight, but he startled the guy with how well he did.
But now he's in the Secret Ninja Club.
Yeah, no initiation.
Okay,
right? He's in.
Why would he be in?
He didn't even ask the kid.
He didn't win. Name. He didn't win. Why would he be in? Because he showed gumption? He had moxie? Why is he in? It doesn't make any sense.
Stop asking these questions.
No, I will continue to be the person asking these questions.
1969. Dukes goes to Ulysses S. Grant High School in San Fernando Valley. Shout out to the Eagles.
Yes, shout out to those Eagles.
I don't know. That might be the Bulldogs.
I was going to say that. You really, I'm going to say shit, man. You really did.
I didn't do that much homework.
San Fernando, whatever, where? The Eagles, God bless them.
He is not a great student. That is, until he began his training. Now a member of the Black Dragons, Duke starts his training with Jiu-Jitsu master Sanzo Seki and Ninjitsu master.
By the way, I just want to point out
Tanaka.
Senzo
Tanaka is related to Senzo Teki, but remember, Senzo Tanaka is also that guy that I already introduced you to. That comes from 40 generations of warriors.
Yes, he came over in 1953, I believe you said it, right?
That's right.
Or he's 53 years old when he came over. I can't remember.
53 years old when he came over.
Yeah, numbers mean no good. But I will tell you that and knowing that we are both from New York City, the chances that you're pronouncing these names 100% correct, what percentage? What are you giving yourself? Like a 70, 80% chance that
Tanaka's a fairly
Tanaka? All right, fair enough. You called me out on Tanaka, but I want to see
Senzo. Come on, Senzo. How are you gonna mispronounce that?
I don't know. We'll find a way. In
1972,
I mispronounced Dukes for like a week.
Well, it's ladies and gentlemen, it's spelled Dux, Dux, right. But I'm sure he pronounces it Dukes, as in put up your Dukes.
Put up your Dukes, fellas.
Like it's said in the movie Bloodsport.
Oh, my sweet mother of God.
1972, Tanaka takes Dukes to Japan as a child to officially become a ninja in Ninja Land.
Is that like a theme park?
He calls it Ninja Land in his own memoir.
Oh, my sweet God.
This is a quote from his memoir.
Okay. Man?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, please. Oh, do it in Frank Dukes' accent, please.
16. Well, what is that? Like, what? 16 years in age.
No. More badass.
Right here? Is this the quote?
Yeah, that's the quote.
Okay. 16 years of age. Tanaka brought him to Japan.
Wait, hold on. This guy's such a non-douche in his entire memoir. He refers to himself in third person.
I was
like
wondering,
every other non-douche.
Yeah. Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, it says him.
Yeah.
But it's him is me.
I've never met a douche that doesn't refer to himself.
So he wrote his own memoirs
in third person. Like a non-douche.
I don't think that's a thing that people do. I've never heard of that. 16 years in age, Tanaka brought him to Japan, the legendary ninja land of Musada. There, the boy's outstanding abilities shocked and pleased the ninja community when he tested for the right to call himself ninja. Did he capitalize the N? Did he capitalize the N in ninja? Is that a thing? Like he's like the ninja?
No, I wrote that.
Oh, okay.
No. I get a little shift key happy.
It's there. It's very tempting. You want to press it all the time. I understand.
Yeah, he goes to Ninja Land.
Ninja Land.
As if there's a neighborhood. Just picture what he just the picture he just drew. Put that in your head.
Where were his parents?
He goes to a place that has a ninja community.
Yeah.
Where they watch a white guy from California, from the Valley, and they're shocked and pleased.
Oh, I'm sure.
They all gather around.
Yeah. I'm sure this will happen.
Yeah.
And
are they all wearing their black pajamas?
Well, you know what? I will tell you
with the camel toe shoes.
That is a historical misconception about ninjas. As you mentioned, ninjas, their job is to blend in. So what's the best way to blend in? By wearing a black hoodie and pajamas outside? No, you best blend in by dressing like everybody else. That's how ninjas dress. They didn't dress like your typical kind of Hollywood thing. That's why they tossed that out there. Ninjas wore regular clothes.
That's not badass.
No, right. It's not cinematic, right? It doesn't ninja look like everyone else.
They look like the Foot Clan.
They like purple. That would be cool. But no, I don't. I think in movies and stuff they look like that, but in reality, ninjas just.
If you're not wearing camel toe shoes, you're not a ninja to me.
Well, they were going to wear those. Yeah, they definitely wore those.
1975. Dukes joins the Marine Corps Reserves from 1975 to 1981. Now, the Freedom of Information Act lets us know that Dukes dedicated 1 weekend per month to his services. There's no mention of any Medal of Honor, no Purple Heart, no Silver Star, no Southeast Asia medals, and no intel schooling. We're going to get to this.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to get to this. He serves as a wireman.
I don't know. What's a wireman?
A wireman is a guy that pulls communication wires between telephone poles.
Yeah, I should have guessed that.
He gets no intel training with this. He's not a specialist in any way other than.
So he's not listening to the information coming over the wires.
Non-energized, not electric wires.
Okay.
A very safe job. Yeah, you might have to climb a pole, but these wires are not energized.
1 week in a month.
1 week in a month. He has no accomplishments worth recruiting for on his record. But in May 1978, he
didn't put ninja down on his resume.
It was before he became a ninja. Well, it's not before. It's before
he just came back from Ninja Land.
Right, he came back from Ninja Land, but he's in the Marines right now.
Okay,
there is a little bit of blended in some of the medals that he did earn. They're just not on his record. But
that doesn't. So they gave him medals and honors, but no one kept record.
It's not on the record, but we're gonna get to the truth. We're gonna get to the truth.
Suspicious, I say.
In May 1978, it is on the record that he fell off of a truck while painting it.
Yep. Okay.
This injury put Dukes in the inactive reserves until the end of his contract in 1981. So he didn't even.
Yeah.
He wasn't even active for the entire contract of the reserve.
You would think with ninja-like reflexes, he would not fall off a truck while painting it.
It shows no military assignments, no time overseas, but it does show on January 22nd, 1978, a referral for a psych evaluation due to quote, this is a quote now, flighty and disconnected ideas. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, he's disconnected from reality.
This guy talks crazy.
Right. Now, you see, in some worlds, in some shapes, like you might say, okay, maybe not disconnected from reality. That's not the kind of person you want in the armed forces.
He was telling other people around him that when he wasn't in on the weekends, he was a badass over in Southeast Asia, kicking ass.
So he came back to the United States.
He only came back only came back 1 weekend a year to the reserves in the States. But when he wasn't there for the 1 weekend, he was out fighting in Vietnam.
Out conducting badassery.
Yeah.
Right. And people, what do you think? Do you think people around, I mean, because obviously with his flighty and disconnected ideas, do you think people were just like, oh God, yeah, here comes Frank again. Like, look busy. Do you think people were avoiding him? Like, I mean, I would imagine someone.
I would love to hear his stories.
You would? I got to tell you, these kind of people vex me. Like, I keep saying vex. They bother me. I don't think I could do it. I couldn't take about 5 minutes of it. I couldn't. Listen. I like UFOs. I want to believe, but there's no chance in hell that I'm sitting there as you're talking to me about how you're falling off a truck. You can't even stand on a truck. But somehow
accidents can happen to anybody.
No, not to ninjas. They can't. Not to true ninjas. No accidents has ever befallen a true ninja. That's a fact.
Can't fake gravity.
Can't fake gravity. Oh, that's from the wrestling episode.
All right. Now, all that being said so far is a precursor for what I'm about to say. Dukes writes articles in Black Belt magazine about how he's decorated for his blade fighting techniques in actual combat.
That no one's ever seen.
Dukes claims he was involved in covert missions during his time in Vietnam, during the Vietnam War. Now, Wikipedia didn't exist back then.
No, it did not.
So he had no way of actually, maybe he had no way of actually looking up the fact that the last of the American troops were withdrawn in 1973.
Oh, maybe without Wikipedia, maybe like, I don't know.
That's 2 years before he joined.
Like textbooks or articles or anywhere where you would find, what do you call those nasty little things? Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's a time traveler.
I don't.
Just like his father.
I don't buy it.
Yeah. Dukes was also involved in covert missions throughout Southeast Asia, and missions were so covert that he's the only American to ever receive the Congressional Medal of Honor in absolute secrecy.
Oh.
The Medal of Honor is so highly celebrated that it can only be given by a standing U.S. president. And this was so secret that even Gerald Ford didn't know about it.
Maybe FDR gave it to him because he was sitting. No,
too soon?
Too soon. Sorry.
Now, we're not done talking about this medal. We're going to get back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to get back to it.
I'm sure Frank brings it up often.
Yeah. This one here that I'm about to tell you is one of my favorite visuals of his adventures. Okay. At the time director of the CIA, William J. Casey, approaches Dukes at a public urinal and introduces himself as, quote, "I'm head of the fucking CIA."
Happens all the time, man. Happens all the time. I can't say half of the CIA, half of them. I think over half, at least 66% of all CIA agents are recruited at urinals.
This is J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah.
This is the guy, he says,
always
walks up to a stranger, not a stranger, apparently he did his homework, but a stranger to Dukes in a public urinal. So Dukes is the one that's using the urinal. This guy walks up behind him.
I'm picturing like behind him, like whispering in his ear. Like,
well, it's all of it's less creepy than pulling up to the urinal next to him.
That's true.
Especially
when be in the CIA.
He immediately recruits Dukes to do secret missions directly under his command, which is absolutely unheard of. He's in charge of the entire CIA. Why? He's not in charge of individual agents.
I'm trying to figure out why it's unheard of. Why is it unheard of? Well, go ahead.
At first, Casey assigns Dukes to find and neutralize rogue agents around the world. Like
this is James Bond.
No, this is I was thinking not the Bourne Identity, Jason Bourne.
Yes.
My God. So he's hired by the director of fucking CIA to go out and hunt other badasses that went rogue.
Man, I got to tell you.
And of course, he's the one that survived.
And what what led up to this encounter in the urinal, by the urinal? Did he know Frank Dukes? Is that the idea that he did his research into Frank Dukes and knew he was going to be there at that time? Couldn't he have waited maybe like 5 more minutes?
It's more discreet in the bathroom.
I don't know. If I come across a urinal, like if I'm going into a bathroom, I walk in and there are 2 guys like talking. I don't know if I want to. That's somewhere I'm going to stay.
You think they shook hands after?
I hope that. I hope they washed. You got to be a clean ninja.
All right. So after he was done neutralizing rogue agents around the world,
right?
Dukes is then sent to destroy a chemical weapons plant in Iraq, a fuel depot in Nicaragua, and joined forces with the KGB to go on a Cold War secret anthrax mission.
This guy, unbelievable.
He still doesn't get into detail about that. He gets into detail about Nicaragua and the chemical weapons plant.
And is it fair to say that, like, I got to tell you, I always talk about this. I wish I lived like in the 1950s. Like you could be one person in one town, and then you could just move like one town over, and you could be a completely different person, and no one would be the wiser. It's not like they were checking on this stuff. There was no way to know. So I think this guy,
this is before Wikipedia.
Yeah,
and before the Freedom of Information Act.
For God's sakes, man, if you reference Wikipedia one more time as a valid source, but this is absurd.
It's a lazy source, is what I'm getting at.
Right. Oh, yes. Okay, it is a lazy source. for Wikipedia people out there, for anyone who got through college using Wikipedia, the lazy source.
And by the way, I pride myself on never doing my research with Wikipedia.
Yes, that was a matter of contention. We
Yes.
definitely, we crossed that bridge. This is legitimate research. We go the route of true history here.
Very true. Now remember, Dukes' military record says that he's never been overseas nor received a single award for anything. Dukes claims this is a case of sabotage.
Of course.
Robert Gates, another director of the CIA, General Norman Schwarzkopf, and Soldier of Fortune magazine all discredit Dukes' military achievements.
Now, I swear to Christ, I want to pick up an issue of Soldier of Fortune. I would imagine, like, how great would that be?
They might have that pizza article we were talking about.
Meals that like soldiers enjoy. How great would that be for soldiers? Like international book that tells you, well, if you're going to be stationed here, here's a great place to go and eat.
It probably tells you the good pizza MREs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. Poor MREs. Poor MREs.
Now, Gates, director of CIA, added, this is a quote, "We know it's unusual for the CIA to comment on such matters, but Dukes' claims were so preposterous, we thought it was necessary."
The CIA,
this guy's got better things to do.
From what I know about agencies like the CIA and FBI, they absolutely love that we believe all these things about them that are impossible for them to actually do, because it perpetuates this notion that they are this force that could be at your door in a moment's notice if they needed to be. And in reality, we all know that's kind of not true. And if they have to intervene because of the preposterous nature of Frank Duke's claims, then you know he done messed up.
I'm sure the CIA can scramble a dozen SUVs anywhere on this planet, probably within 45 minutes.
I'm not sure. They couldn't get water to the Silver Dome. The United States government couldn't get water to the Silver Dome.
Yes, that just lets you know where that was on the priority list.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah,
that's a shame. CIA, come on, man. We expect better from you. Please don't. I'm going to be a black bag tonight. Like they're going to kick down my door and black bag me tonight.
Gates. Gates added, Gates is the director of the CIA. Yeah. He added to that, it's really convenient that Casey is dead and can't refute the book himself.
Right.
Yeah. So the memoir was said after Casey, the head of fucking CIA, after he died. In this book, there are photos of Dukes in his many comic book-esque adventures. One photo is of Dukes in what looks like a jungle, posing with two visible pistols. The people who worked on the set of The Quest, another movie that he was a part of, the choreography part, recognized
what's Van Damme,
right?
Yeah,
recognized the backdrop, the uniform, the prop guns, and produced another picture of Dukes in the same outfit with the same background, with actors and other movie set guys in the background. So this jungle that he was like this.
Am I the only one picturing like Frank Dukes going to Sears in full uniform by himself and be like, I need a couple of different backdrops.
He was wearing wardrobe. He was wearing wardrobe using the movie set backdrop.
That's fantastic.
And he just said, he just probably ducked down in front of a bush and said, "Take a picture of me." And then a couple of minutes later, the same guy holding the camera said, "Hey, let me get a picture of you over here with so-and-so, in lighting."
Yeah.
Because that's what they produced. They pictured him wearing the same thing, his hair done the same exact way, with the same backdrop, with other people from the cast. Yeah. But I think it's just a coincidence. I think this is all true.
No, man. First of all, by the way, The Quest, I remember when The Quest came out. At that point, I'm like in my teen years, I was super into it. It was essentially like Bloodsport by another name. I don't know if you remember The Quest. It was Bloodsport by another name. It was Frank Dukes again. It was Van Damme again. And I do believe like that's where they had like a quasi kind of friendship. But that's where they had a falling out. I think Frank Dukes tried to. I believe it or not, actually, I think he tried to sue Van Damme.
No, we're not gonna get there yet.
Oh,
yeah, we're not getting
there. The Quest is a part of this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love the Quest.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the Quest I like a lot better than Bloodsport. Maybe there's the production value is a little better.
There's also a photo of Dukes posing next to a tactical-looking rifle that's titled "Me in the Trench." Is that a good voice?
What was it? What?
Me in a trench.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Who's taking these photos of him?
Definitely not people on the set.
Yeah, right. Like, who's in the field,
Yeah.
like, posing like this? Is this something soldiers do? I don't think so.
A CIA operative that read the book and saw the pictures said that rifle was a 22 caliber remake of an AK-47 that's used for squirrel hunting. You would never use that
in the field, like, as a soldier.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But we're going to get back to this book later, though.
I mean, unless there's like an army of squirrels. Who knows? I don't know. Listen, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. The CIA secret from us. It's possible. Who knows?
I've heard of a war against emus, and
emus
held
but maybe there are like hyper intelligent, well organized, well armed squirrels out there that Frank Dukes.
The squirrels know karate. I've watched SpongeBob.
I mean, this is on par with the rest of his story. So let's just lean into the preposterous nature of it.
This is all true.
Oh God!
Now we're still in 1940. We're still in 1975.
Okay.
This is the year Dukes wins the Kumite.
Becoming the
IFAA World Heavyweight Full Contact Kumite Champion.
Yes.
The IFAA. Do you know what that stands for?
I do not. I think it's, for what I remember, was the International Fighting Arts Association.
Yeah, I think you're the only one that knows that. The Kumite, this is according to Frank, is a 3-day, 60-round, single elimination, full contact, underground fighting tournament that only accepts the best fighters in the world that fight any fighting discipline.
The best of the best of the best.
For hundreds of years, it's always remained a secret. But the Black Dragon tells Dukes he is the only one that can spread the word.
Yes. I mean, why do you want to spread the word of this?
So it gets popular. So the secret gets popular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they want to keep it underground, but they also want it to get popular.
Frank Dukes, that's how secrets work, man. You want people. This is like the opposite of Fight Club.
No, but they want to keep it a secret. They don't want it to
they
don't want it to be big and famous.
Yeah.
They want it to continue.
Well, I would imagine
the way it's always been.
How many people? 60 people in this tournament?
Oh, we're going to get there.
I was going to say, because in order for the numbers to kind of work out, you need a lot of people for this.
Yeah, we're going to get
there.
Yeah,
all right. So I guess you kind of want the word getting out amongst the fighting community, but
we're going to get to that mess.
You're going to right. You're going to burn through a lot of people doing this.
Right.
Okay.
The Kumite is not driven by fans and fame. It's fueled by illegal gambling and honor.
I don't think that fuels anything.
Oh, no, it does.
I mean, gambling fuels things because that's money. Honor, it's not going to fuel anything. You know what?
Up to this point, the Kumite has been an ancient tournament that only allows Japanese disciplines. But in 1975, when Frank shows up.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's when it became open to the world and all fighting disciplines.
Of course. Perfect time.
Held
Frank Dukes.
Every 5 years. Kinda. Frank messes up on the math a few times. Either that or he time travels.
Every 5 years, sort of.
Well, it's not on the 5s and 10s. Yeah. So he gets either he gets confused with the math or the
you get so muddled when they switched over to the Gregorian calendar. Got a little muddled.
When you start jumping through wormholes, I think
you know what? For God's sakes, now I'm speaking like you're right, and I hate it.
The Kumite that Dukes wins was held in secret on a private residential island in Nassau, Bahamas.
Oh, beautiful place.
Traditionally, the Kumite champion wins either a gold bell. Bell, B-E-L-L.
Yeah, not belt.
Not belt.
No.
Or a katana sword on a stand as a trophy.
I would take the gold bell.
You don't get to choose.
I want... No.
You don't choose.
Oh, excuse me, sir. I get to choose, and I want the goddamn gold bell.
Come back in 5 years.
Because or maybe not, who knows? It's so impractical that I want it.
Dukes won the sword trophy. When?
Damn it.
In an interview, the interviewer asked if he could see the trophy. Dukes proudly handed him the trophy sword. Upon inspection, the bottom of the sword displayed the name of a trophy shop just a short distance from Dukes' residence.
I don't. That's one of the great things about being an adult now. Like, I may not be the best at anything, but I am if I go to the trophy shop and get myself something.
Imagine buying yourself a trophy.
Like, I could be the best bowler in the world if you come to my house, because I could go to the trophy shop and spend $45 to get myself a nice trophy. Or, I'll get I don't need a reason to get myself a cake either. But that's a different story altogether.
Duke said that he forgot to mention that he broke the base of the trophy. So the only part of the trophy that's not authentic is the base. And honestly, that was the last time the sword trophy was ever seen.
Yeah.
By anyone other than Dukes. Later in an interview, when asked if he could show off the trophy again, he said he didn't have it anymore. He then explained how he was challenged by Filipino pirates. And in order to save a literal boatload of enslaved orphans, he agreed to exchange the sword for the orphans' freedom.
So, all right, stop.
Buckle in.
No one's going, that can't be right. Like, you know what? That, like, if you're gonna lie, like, you want your lies to have some plausibility to, like, every word of that sentence became less plausible as you went on. He lost it in a swashbuckling fight with Filipino. Like, okay, and then like pirates, like, ugh,
enslaved orphans,
and then to free enslaved orphans, a boatload of them.
Honor,
God,
all about
Frank
honor.
Dukes.
You don't get it?
No, I do get honor. Wait, that's it. But I do get the concept of honor, but I also understand what lying is. And most people would hear that and go, that's just not goddamn true, Frank.
All right, now in your best Frank voice, can you please read this quote?
Oh my God. I'm still in touch with some of the kids, you know. Oh God. And I'll tell you, they love me. And I got one kid who's about 15 years old, and all I have to do is look cross-eyed at a guy, and he'll kill for me. After all, God, I mean, so now he rescued them and then trained them to kill at his whim. And no one's going, this is terrible. You're a terrible father figure. No one's questioning any of this.
This is all absolutely plausible.
No, God, it's outrageous.
After all this action,
raging,
he retires.
Of course.
Kumite fighting and opens his own ninja school.
Well, he's got like 30
in the
kids
valley
now. Right? Did he take these kids in?
I think they were Filipino orphans.
I know, but he could have at least helped them out instead of training them how to kill at his whim.
Dukes, in an interview, presents the name of a witness that saw Dukes fight at the Kumite.
Oh.
This witness was another fighter in the same Kumite, Richard Robinson. The reporter finds Robinson, and Robinson says that he was invited to fight the Kumite because he was a champion wrestler at Lower Merion High School and was undefeated.
Okay, so
the reporter reminded Robinson. The reporter reminded Robinson that he went to the same high school as Dukes. Quote, all right, I don't know what you want me to say. Frank was a buddy of mine in LA.
Okay, right. Yeah, I know. There are literally millions of, it's got to be, I actually have no idea. It's got to be millions of high schools around the country. And you picked the same damn one?
No. He picked a different one.
Wait.
The reporter said, the reporter is the one that reminded him that he went to the same high school as Dukes.
So in reality, okay.
In reality,
I'm sorry, I thought you meant.
In reality, I know you know Dukes from high school.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Frank owed me I owed Frank a favor.
So I say he's a buddy of mine from LA.
So I lied about every goddamn thing I said. I understand. First of all, I do like he's a literature name. I do like alliteration.
This next name is better. Okay. He's got another witness.
Go ahead.
Dukes also presented another.
Oh yes,
witness.
I know who you're going to say. I know this because actually I did a little research into this as well. But like I we're talking before more about the movies than this. But this is Richard Bender, right?
AKA
Dick Bender. Yeah, you can't go wrong. If I swear to Christ, if I even found out that there was someone in my area named Dick Bender, you and I are going to become good friends because I just want to introduce you to people.
Yeah, the funniest part of that name, Dick Bender.
Yeah,
is Bender. I hardly even know her.
I got to tell you, like, how cool would that be? This is and it's named Dick Bender, and it's not a nickname; it's his real name.
He said he was at the Kumite too.
Oh, everybody.
What he said is irrelevant because years later, Bender came clean and says he was lying about everything, and Dukes instructed him on exactly what to say during the interviews. So I didn't even write it down because he just came clean.
Dick Bender was one of the people that worked on the movies with them as well, and their relationship soured, and then he turned on him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dukes presents other people that were present at the Kumite too. Two of the men were dead, and the other man is Mohammar Gaddafi. As in
Gaddafi,
as in. Go ahead. I dare you to ask him.
Right, yeah.
It's the equivalent of today saying, yeah, Kim Jong-un, go ahead, give him a call.
And first of all, I mean, you would imagine that after the first guy says, you kind of blow up a spot and you realize that he all of this is fabricated. Then it starts to bring into question everything else, but he just keeps doubling down.
I don't know. If there's one guy that I could imagine being at the Kumite, it would be someone with Gaddafi's,
I'm going to say something here.
Rep.
With a flighty and disassociated reality complex, I am glad that he went down this road, because this is
absolutely true, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that's not what I was going to say. That's not what I was going to say at all. This is like the makings of a serial killer. Like these are the concepts. These are like the things that if this went truly south, and thank God for Hollywood. Thank Hollywood's getting him into Hollywood probably saved hundreds of people.
From what?
From him. From him.
I don't think he ever hurt anybody.
Right.
Besides the people he's killed.
That's what I'm saying.
In combat.
No, that's a lot. Well, right. So let's just say he never killed anyone, right? Like
no one that was innocent.
Oh God, this is absurd. He. There's no way he did any of this. None of this happened. But thank God none of this happened, and thank God he found this outlet. Because if it wasn't this, it'd be like collecting cats from the neighborhood, skinning them, killing them, putting them in the basement. That's the kind of stuff that you expect from reality, like from someone like this with a disassociated. I can't even say the word reality that he has. Just so you know, I'm glad it happened.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
All right, now we're still in 1975. This is the year he won the Kumite.
Sure.
For honor of his shidoshi, which ladies and gentlemen is not a real word. Shidoshi is not a real word. Yeah, using context clues, it's another word for sensei. When watching the movie, no one other than Frank Dukes has ever used the word shidoshi.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything. When I did a Google search for shidoshi, and it just talks about Frank Dukes.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, listen, that's actually the coolest thing so far. He's just making up words, and people are like, all right, yeah. That shows you how ignorant people were in the 1970s.
There was no internet. There was no Wikipedia.
Yeah, for God's sakes, with Wikipedia, we had Encyclopedia Britannica. We didn't need it.
It was secret.
All right.
Dukes claims
secret vocabulary
that his Shidoshi Tanaka dies July 30th, 1975.
Yes.
And that a clan of ninjas commuted to California to bury him there. When asked why there was no California record of his death or any death certificate, Duke says he was mistaken and that Tanaka was buried in Wisconsin.
Shout out to Wisconsin.
When later asked why there were no records of his death certificate in Wisconsin, he said that he never said anything about Wisconsin and that Tanaka died and was buried in Japan. Research was then done. And when asked why there were no records of any Senzo Tanaka living, being born, dying, or living in any way in all of the United States and Japan, and it seems that Dukes is the only person to know of this person's existence, Dukes responds by saying, Tanaka's missing information is a conspiracy involving the CIA.
Now,
hold on.
Because I know
this is a list.
I've heard the name Tanaka before.
It's the CIA, enemy ninjas, and magazine publishers.
These are all the people that are conspiring to establish.
These are the
people
that erased Senzo Tanaka from the planet.
Now, no one said, "Well, you've lied so far about him existing."
Why would they say he lied?
Well, he was buried in California, then he was buried in Wisconsin.
He never said anything about Wisconsin.
But he said something about Wisconsin.
No, he never said anything about
it.
Didn't you read what I?
It's the very nature of history.
He didn't say anything about Wisconsin.
But I'm a nerd. I know it. I know the name Tanaka. I know it from somewhere.
It's a common name.
Well, yeah.
Wrestler.
That's Tatanka.
Tatanka.
That's Tatanka. That's a different one altogether.
He's got enemy ninjas. Did you pick up on that?
Well, I mean, I would imagine if you're going by this fabrication of reality, and in which he is a world-traveling kumite martial arts aficionado.
Well, no, these weren't enemy ninjas of Dukes. These were enemy ninjas of Tanaka. Tanaka had his own.
Are these enemy ninjas now coming after him in light of Tanaka's fictional passing?
No, the enemy ninjas just erased his.
That's it.
His records. Yeah. That's how ninjas attack post-mortem.
Post-mortem attack erase. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, along with magazine publishers.
Now, why would the
CIA.
magazine publishers want to erase Tanaka's existence? What's the logical explanation behind?
I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, I mean,
beyond that.
And people, okay, that makes sense, fella. You know, oh God.
Though there is some kind of paper trail proving the existence of a ninja master named Senzo Tanaka.
Yeah, I do know something. What am I drawing a blank?
In a James Bond book, You Only Live Twice.
Yes.
When Dukes was confronted with this information, Dukes said he knows Ian Fleming bases his characters from real people. So this is the proof that we need to prove that he exists.
So since James Bond was taken from like a bird book, I think that's what it was. Like James Bond, Ian Fleming took the name James Bond from a book about birds. The author's name was James Bond. So if you go by that logic, then all of his characters are now
real people.
So there's an Octopussy out there.
It's proof.
Okay,
this is proof.
Right. Thank you, Frank Dukes.
Yeah.
It
just happens to be this. It doesn't happen to be the same name. Frank didn't lift the name from the book.
Right.
It's the opposite way.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
The book lifted the name from
him.
To Tanaka.
So that's the proof.
Yeah.
In Black Belt magazine, September issue, he wrote an article called "Unlocking Power: Hits to Success."
Sure.
In October that same year, he wrote "Self-Defense Against Knives."
Don't be stabbed. Number one.
It's good advice.
Great advice.
Let me write that down.
Yeah. Do not be stabbed.
He spoke about his time in Korea while in the Marines, about being decorated for his blade fighting technique and actual blade combat throughout Southeast Asia, and having a black belt in several martial arts, including Taekwondo. He never previously mentioned any of these black belts before or after.
When we're talking about blades, we're talking about sword fighting.
We're talking about knives, badass knives.
I'm picturing, when I picture blades, I'm picturing like.
Oh, he mastered
the sword as well.
The sword as well. Yeah. But in combat,
I mean, is there anything he hasn't mastered?
Well, in the pictures of him holding blades, while wearing fatigues,
sure,
and military. I shouldn't say while wearing his military costume, wardrobe. Maybe he's holding knives, fixed blade knives, while dressed in his karate costume. That's when he holds the swords.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
you got to dress for the job you want.
Yeah.
Remember
Tanaka's enemy ninjas?
I sure do.
Well, Dukes has his own rival ninjas.
Oh, I was hoping he would. I mean, it would only make sense that in this story that he would have his own like rival ninja clan.
Stephen K. Hayes.
That's not at all
level
what I was thinking.
2 ninja master.
When you say ninja master, Stephen Hayes is not like a name that's going to come to mind at all. Like that's not what I'm expecting. That's not cool. But go ahead. He's a level 2. I don't know how the levels work. Do you know how levels work?
It's one more than one.
Yeah, no, I know. I know how numbers work, for God's sakes. I know it's 1 less than 3. I understand the concept.
Oh, you're a ninja?
No. I'm just aware of numbers. But what's the levels? Like, is there another level? Like, do I get to be a level 5?
It's hard to imagine once you master something, you get to master it a little bit more.
Well, okay, that's fine.
Apparently, his rival, ninja, did
Ninja Master 2.
Now, Joe Rogan knows about Stephen K. Hayes. He was a guy that wrote into Black. Stephen Hayes was a regular writer in Black Belt magazine, and apparently,
I feel bad that I canceled my subscription.
I read it.
Oh, you read the article?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, I used to ask my mom to buy me Black Belt.
Get out of
magazine.
here! Yeah. Oh my God. No.
So Black Belt magazine apparently stops letting Dukes write articles. Dukes wasn't a writer. He was more of a if you send in articles and it's good enough, they'll just publish it for you.
Right.
They don't really do any background check. If it's a good story and it sounds informative or whatever, they'll just push it along. So that's what they did with Dukes' articles.
I was going to say I'm trying to picture the kind of person that's reading this magazine month after month, but then it's
11-year-old kids.
Yes. like what else can you add? Like how much can you is this monthly? I mean, is there enough information?
Yeah, it was monthly. Yeah, it was. Oh and it was like highly glossed. Like every page was glossed. It was a cool looking magazine. Yeah,
I guess. Yeah. All right, I'll take your word for it.
Now, he stops letting Dukes write articles. So this is why Dukes doesn't get to freelance his articles in Black Belt magazine anymore.
There were no.
That's his enemy.
That's it. That's all it took.
Well, he's also got it out for him.
So he rejected him. He rejected the fallacy of Frank Dukes, and now he's made an enemy for life. He's made
he just didn't want. I don't think I don't know. It might have just been he doesn't want another ninja writing. Coming in on his turf.
I know, right?
Well, I mean, how many ninjas? You get your own magazine, Frank.
Right.
You know.
Were there other, by the way, like competing black belt magazines out there?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Imagine the market was saturated with them.
Now, in the Valley, he hooks up with a movie producer and sells a story to write the movie Bloodsport.
Oh.
Dukes claims that before buying the rights to the story, Hollywood producers investigated Dukes' claims and verified every single detail.
Well, we all know Hollywood is the epitome of factual. So we definitely want to go by them.
Well, screenwriters later said that they didn't verify anything. They just had they just had a really cool story on their hands. So they ran with it. Dukes claims the producer of Bloodsport stole his script, even though he was previously paid in full. Dukes, the ninja, honorably sues, and the case is thrown out.
Yeah, okay.
Dukes claims he was promised through a verbal agreement with Jean-Claude Van Damme a 2.5% box office gross.
Of what? Like what
promised by a fellow actor.
Right.
That has no position to barter.
What is Van Damme? I think before I remember,
it was his first movie.
Van Damme made like $25,000 on the movie, which is great.
It was Van Damme's first movie. How the hell is he going to barter with it?
From what I understand about Van Damme's even casting in the movie, they didn't even want him. They wanted some other guy who went on to be like the star of American Ninja and a couple other movies. But Van Damme did this thing where he like kicked right like
in his face.
Yeah, right inches away from the producer's face.
That was his move. Yeah, that was his Hollywood move.
I got to tell you that, I mean, that's why you got to love Hollywood in certain ways, because what other job are you getting in that manner? Like, I almost kicked my boss in the face, so they hired me.
Well, they didn't have CGI back then.
No.
So if you wanted someone that can do fancy kicks, they really did hire the right guy.
They did.
They really did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, this whole story, I have nothing against Van Damme. I'm a huge fan of Jean-Claude.
I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan, but I certainly I do enjoy more when he became a little bigger. I enjoyed the movies. Like I said, like Time Cop, that was great. I enjoyed the hell out of The Quest. Bloodsport is a
Universal Soldier.
Universal Soldier. Universal Soldiers. They're like the
Double Impact. When there was two Van Dammes.
Can't have enough. Double Impact. Holy crap! Was he? Was he in a movie with Rodman? Dennis Rodman? Or am I making that up? Is that like the Mandela effect thing? I'm pretty sure he was in a movie with Dennis Rodman. I can't think of the name.
It sounds like it could have been a thing.
It's probably got like a basketball name, like Double Dribble or something like that. I can't think of it, but that does sound like a thing.
Van Damme denies ever making any deal with Dukes.
Yeah,
Dukes says that he has audio proof, but that proof was destroyed in the 1994 Northridge earthquake. You know, the dog ate it. I have proof.
Yeah.
It's just gone now.
Well, judging from what I know about Frank Dukes so far, I'm just going to put some pieces together that the CIA caused the earthquake to bury the tape.
It was HARP. It was HARP.
They did it all
up in Alaska.
Oh.
That's my Jesse Ventura.
That was good. Yeah.
Did you get it?
I did. No, but Jesse's been in the news lately again. Because they were saying that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. might take him on as a running mate for president or vice president. Yeah,
sweet.
Comical at best. Fun. It's gonna be fun if they do. Yeah,
it's gonna give him a run for his money. Dukes.
Yes. Put up your Dukes.
Dukes, the ninja, honorably sues Van Damme. The case is dismissed. Dukes, the ninja.
Yes.
Honorably appealed.
Is that a thing?
The case is dismissed.
Can you honorably appeal? I guess you
can. Just as easily as you can honorably sue.
Yes. I don't know.
There's a lot of honor in suing.
We're putting a lot of words.
Dukes is all about honor. So apparently suing people is honorable.
Yeah, we're putting the adjective honor on a lot of things that don't really.
This is Dukes we're talking about.
Yeah.
He's a ninja. When asked how accurate the film was to real life, Dukes answers, only two things were not accurate. He did not break into Tanaka's house to steal a sword. And he didn't sleep with the undercover reporter before the fight.
Oh, before the
fight.
Look at
wink,
you,
wink.
Dog.
Elbow.
Little nookie ass. But of course, he, was barely alive, I'm sure, after this Kumite.
No, he was fine.
Oh, yay, he's fine.
Fun fact about the special agent in Bloodsport was played by a samurai.
Sure.
Yeah, Ghost Dog.
Ghost Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Dog.
That's right.
How do I know that name? Didn't they make a movie called Ghost Dog?
Yes, they did.
With Brandon Routh.
No, it was what's his name?
Don't you dare tell me no. I know my Brandon Routh.
Oh yeah,
that's Superman. He was Superman. Superman Returns. Like I'm wearing a watch. It was called Ghost Dog, and then it had a name under it, like something maybe Ninja. I don't know. I can't remember. But Ghost Dog, yeah.
Ghost Dog.
Is it him? Well, I mean,
well, no, just the special agent. No, the guy with the sleepy eye.
Shawn Michaels.
He's in the movie Bloodsport.
Oh,
one of the agents.
That's him.
Yeah,
that's Ghost
like
Dog. He was a real.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know they did make a movie called Ghost Dog.
My producers are telling me that it's Forrest Whitaker, but
Donald Gibb, the actor who played Ogre in the movie, can totally beat up the real Frank Dukes in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ogre. Remember Ogre?
Yeah.
I bet Booger could take on Frank Dukes.
I'm pretty sure most people could probably take on Frank Dukes. I wonder if they actually did. Although, from what I understand, like I did see some photos of Frank Dukes behind, like on the set of Bloodsport and everything like that. He did look like he was in good shape.
Oh, he's huge.
Yeah.
I think he's like 6'4" or something. Like actually 6'4",
right,
not self-proclaimed. He really is.
Yeah, and
a big man.
Van Damme was like, he was in shape, but not like fighting like Kumite Bloodsport shape. Like I think they had him going for like months prior to filming, just so he would get into the shape. He said it was the hardest thing he ever did to get in shape for Bloodsport.
He looked good.
Yeah, I mean, it made him a star, right? Yeah. Like listen, you could argue with a lot of things about Frank Dukes. Yeah, but the weird thing is, and like I said, I'm thanking the gods that he got involved in Hollywood, and in so many ways, the trickle down effect of Bloodsport is so much better than Bloodsport itself in terms of its effect on culture and cinema and even video games.
Dukes was offered $25,000 for the assassination of another martial arts warrior.
For God's sakes. By whom?
Do you want to know who the warrior was that he was assigned to assassinate?
Well,
you know his name.
I do know his name. So the warrior that he wanted.
The warrior that he was assigned to assassinate was Steven Seagal.
Oh, man.
Now, there's no proof that Frank ever attempted to find or hurt Seagal in any way, nor is there any proof that nor is there any proof that Dukes ever contacted the authorities to let them know that someone wants to kill Seagal.
This is the one part I hope is true. He could have spared us Under Siege 2.
If you're not going to kill somebody, if someone asks you to kill somebody and you're not into it, wouldn't you call the cops?
Dude, what was that movie? Seagal didn't make a lot of movies I like, but there was one that
Under Siege.
Under Siege. I swear to God, I liked Under Siege 2, although better than I like the first one. Although
I know the one you're talking about.
I'm talking about the one where he's.
Anybody know Bobby Lupo? Anybody see Bobby Lupo?
No, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I didn't see that many Steven Seagal movies.
Yeah, he beats everyone up in the pool.
Hard to Kill. Like, didn't he make that?
That might have been it. Yeah, Hard to Kill.
Yeah,
I think that was it.
But he made one where I think it was Kurt Russell, John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo always talks about it because Steven Seagal like smacked him in the face during the movie, like behind the scenes, like what a jerk, right?
What?
Yeah. But it was a great. I swear to God, I can't think of the name of the movie now, but it was actually I enjoyed the hell out of it. But one of the few Steven Seagal movies that I could say I kind of liked.
Seagal broke Sean Connery's wrist on purpose, according to Sean.
Oh God!
He broke his wrist.
Oh, that's the hand I used to smack my wife. Remember he said that? Like,
let's not go there.
He said something like that. He was like really open about that.
Like, she needs to shut up.
Yeah, right. It's like you're like, oh God damn, Sean Connery.
He's a bad person. Maybe he deserved to get his wrist broken.
What I love about Sean Connery, I mean, first of all, like, all right, fine, movie's great, but I love that in his later years he turned down so many awesome movies because he didn't understand it. Like he turned down Lord of the Rings, Gandalf.
He's an old. Yeah. If you didn't grow up reading those books, you're not really gonna.
They were kids' books probably when he came out.
I'm sure. Yeah.
What the hell's a Hobbit?
Was it World War I when those books came
out? After World War I. Yeah, they were published during World War II. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Duke sells an adventure story to producer Sheldon Levitch for a movie called Enter the New Dragon.
Oh, Enter the New Dragon. They really got a lot of use how to enter and drag.
You know this movie.
We're entering a lot of dragons.
You know this movie.
Okay.
The story got a rewrite with a couple new writers on board and was renamed.
Can you give me a synopsis? Like, you tell me about the movie?
It's a lot like Bloodsport.
Oh.
The Quest.
Oh, it is The Quest.
Yes.
Oh, we're talking about The Quest.
Yes.
Okay. As soon as you said it's a lot like Bloodsport,
So it got a rewrite with 2 new writers and renamed.
Now yeah, okay.
In April 1996,
I did enjoy The
Frank
Quest.
says that it's the same story that he wrote, and he was only given the story by credit and not credited as the writer. So they didn't credit him as the writer. They didn't pay him as the writer because it got a rewrite. He's saying that he got credit in the closing credits.
Yeah.
For the story, but not for the writing.
Okay, story by.
Right. He also says,
I guess they changed so much of it at that point that they really couldn't even legally.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. He also says that while he was in the hospital recovering from brain surgery for tumor removal, which is true.
Okay.
He did get it. The tumor
Probably,
removal.
I mean, that's a, you could document a hospital.
Now, everyone in the room thought he was unconscious, but Frank could hear everything perfectly. And he heard Sheldon Lettich take a phone call next to the bed and spell out his evil plan of how and why he was taking Dukes out of the movie while visiting him in the hospital room.
Villains
when he could just take the call out of the room.
Right.
This is like the best visual ever.
I know. He came all the way
to the hospital
to a person that he didn't like, most likely didn't care about, didn't have anything to do with.
Every plan to ruin him.
Yeah. And it tells it in front of him, despite the fact that he's probably out cold from, again, brain surgery. This is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the brain surgery is real. Like his face is never the same after the surgery. Yeah.
Right. Well, that sucks. That sucks.
He wears sunglasses after the surgery because
just made him look cooler.
Like a warrior.
Yeah. With honor.
Now we're gonna go back to the Kumite for a second. Dukes claims that it was a 60-round single elimination tournament.
Right.
Do you
60 rounds?
Now, not being into sports as you are,
I'm not a sports.
Do you realize what a single round
sports.
tournament consists of?
You would have to have so many brackets, I would imagine.
Right. 1 round is 2 men.
Okay.
2 rounds is 4 men. 3 is 8. 4 is 16. You following me?
So we're gonna get.
So it's a 60 round. I did the math, and I had to use the internet because my calculator and my kids Texas Instruments but also couldn't handle this number.
So we're beyond thousands.
That means it would be 2 to the 59th power of how many people would be entered in this tournament. Let me remind you that
hold on. That's not how many people are on the planet. Right?
Let me remind you that there's only 8.1 billion people alive on the planet right now. And according to Google, only 117 billion members of our species have ever been born on Earth ever in the course of the Earth's 192,000 years.
So the Earth is only like 300 years old. But
no, I thought it was 3,000.
After we found dinosaurs that the CIA buried.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if that's true. But all right, so you're saying that in order for this Kumite tournament to exist and run in the manner in which Frank Dukes described it, every person potentially who's ever lived.
I didn't even get there yet.
Oh my sweet Lord!
Just remember, only 117 billion humans of our species have ever existed.
You're making me nervous in the way you're saying humans like that.
2 to the 59th power is an 18-digit number that puts it in the 100 quadrillions. I didn't know quadrillion was a thing.
It is a thing. Yeah.
So that number is 576 quadrillion, 460 trillion, 752 billion, 303 million, 423,488 people entered in the Kumite. That's 80 times more people than are alive on the planet right now, and it's a secret tournament.
Right. Well, yeah, I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is that how secret it is that you were in it. And you don't even know.
It was a secret.
You were eliminated without even knowing it. And that's how secret it is.
When Dukes was confronted with this math. He said, no, see, it was different. It was different. It was 60 rounds, but after every fight, everyone just goes to the guy on the left.
So it's not quadrillion. It's gonna be like just a couple of billion.
It's just 60 guys now.
Right,
so after a fight, everyone just does a do-si-do, turns and takes the partner to the left, and they did that 60 times.
But if you go by his logic too, don't people die in this kumite?
Oh, and knocked out.
Yeah, right.
So someone will get knocked out,
and then
just stand back up and keep going.
No sell. That's a no sell with that one.
Yeah, but that's what he said. Yeah.
Well, listen. At this point, every other word out of his mouth so far, if we are keeping score at home, so far the only plausible thing,
he's from the Valley. Well, he's born in Canada.
Is that he was born. I'm sure there are like birth certificates that acknowledge that his birth happened at some point in some place. And I think all the other things too, there should be records of those things, but there aren't. And you were saying a few minutes ago that the hospital stay, we know that's true. Okay, fine. I mean, at this point,
the Freedom of Information Act, he was in the reserves.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Fine. So how about this? Let's cherry pick then. Very few things amongst a myriad of mistruths can fall under the category of it happened.
I don't know what mistruths you're talking about. This is all very plausible.
I mean, he had an infinite number of people fighting in his kumite. That seems like it's a start.
Whatever, bro.
Yeah,
it was a secret.
What does Frank Dukes own you? Is that what's going on here?
Dukes also becomes the freestyle weapons and forms champion at the same kumite because he's a decorated blade vet combat. Yeah. Like I don't even know if there is a blade vet combat title, but that's what he is.
There is now.
Yeah.
There is now.
Decorated.
Mm-hmm.
He has awards.
By whom?
Southeast Asians.
Just that's geographical awards, like not a nation or an organization, just geography.
It's
Southeast.
It's a prestigious award.
God,
the Bahamian Minister of Sport. Remember, this was all taking place in secrecy in the Bahamas.
Yes,
on a private residential island in the Bahamas.
So what is the Bahamian Minister of Sport?
The Bahamian Minister of Sport says that it is impossible for a martial arts tournament of that scale to have taken place in secret in such a small, tight-knit community. If there's a tournament with contestants and spectators from around the world there,
right,
they would have at least been aware of the influx of out-of-towners.
Yeah, I would imagine. Right. I mean, the airport would have been flooded with billions of people.
Oh, let's say it was 60.
60 billion
just the fans alone of people not going to the beach, going to a small private island.
Yeah.
You have to take a shuttle. A shuttle boat.
Shuttle.
Yeah,
Bahamas
it really is going to stand out.
Yeah, you're going to notice that.
Yeah. In 1980.
Or maybe the ninjas are so stealth that no one noticed.
Well, no, it was disciplines from all over the world. Remember the high school wrestler?
Oh, yeah. Little ninja.
He was a high school wrestler, so they invite him to an underground tournament.
In Greco-Roman high school wrestling.
Now we're finally on to 1980. Dukes retires from Kumite wrestling. He opens his own ninja school in the Valley. He teaches his own personal ninja style that he invented conveniently. It's called Dukes Ryu Ninjutsu School.
Ooh.
It's a new style.
Dukes you.
That the world isn't ready for because it's indefensible. If do right, no can defend.
If done right, you can't defend against Dukes Ryu.
If do right,
see,
no can defend.
Damn this man, because that sounds awesome.
The
name sounds awesome.
He invented his own ninja.
Yeah. Right.
It's not traditional in any way. So if another ninja comes up and says, "Hey, what is that?" He can just say, "I invented it."
Now I want to picture like a Matrix scene. Like, well, now I knew Dukes Ryu. You know what I mean? Like, I want to picture like all these cool things where, like, Dukes Ryu kind of makes its way into it. Like, whoa, man, you know Dukes Ryu? You know I do. Indefensible.
There is one fight that's on the record that Dukes was in.
What was that?
It was witnessed.
Like a homeless guy in Hollywood?
It was witnessed by people other than Dukes for the first time, and I think only time. Would you like to hear about it?
I would love to hear
about it. In 1993.
This is where I would love to hear about things that actually happened. I like history.
All right.
Okay.
In 1993, the at the time #1 contender for heavyweight kickboxing champion was Zane Frazier. Dukes hired Frazier to help get notoriety at his ninja school. So Frazier made several appearances under the premise of getting paid. Dukes never paid Frazier for anything. Now, it's not on the record.
Yeah.
Yet, I imagine he promised to pay him.
Yeah.
And then when Frazier asked for his money, he said, "You should be honored to be in my school."
Right. I can picture something.
That's what I don't. That was never said. It's just I'm just.
I didn't know money was
blanks.
involved here. I thought you were just doing it as a favor to me because I am, a ninja master.
Now this is taken
level 2.
Duke says that Frazier used brass knuckles during a sucker punch, but every other witness disagrees with Duke's account. This is taken from Karate International. Oh, that's another karate magazine.
All right, another one.
Karate International magazine, November 1993.
Yeah.
In a column called Kenpo Corner.
Oh.
At the second annual Draka Martial Arts Trade Show held at the Century Plaza Hotel in Los Angeles, California, a skirmish broke out between Kenpo black belt and WKA's #1 rated heavyweight kickboxing contender Zane Frazier and Grandmaster Frank W. Dukes. I feel like that was written with sarcasm.
Yeah, I mean, he probably like as he is the leader of his own dojo, he probably give himself the title of Grandmaster.
This is still a quote as written. As many of you know, Frank Dukes is the character of the film Bloodsport and was molded after. According to several well-known black belts, Frank Trejo and Ray Wizard, present the incident. Dukes moved in on Frazier, and Frazier hit Dukes several times in the face, dropping Dukes to the floor. Frazier finished the action by body slamming him into the next booth. Security officials restored order to the trade show, and no further incidents. Glad to hear Zane survived the incident without serious injury.
Yeah. So it doesn't seem. So the only recorded instance of Frank Dukes actually getting to a fight with someone
was Dukes attacking, getting hit several times.
Yeah. Slammed into a booth.
Body slammed into a booth. But thankfully, Zane's fist survived.
Thank God. Thank God.
Now, Duke says Frazier used brass knuckles during a sucker punch, but every other witness disagrees with Duke's account.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember UFC ref Big John McCarthy.
Yeah. He was like the first big
he
one.
Was the ref.
Right.
Yeah.
When you think of UFC in the early days, that's what you think.
He saw the whole event transpire from beginning to end. Now, if there's a pair of eyes you want to actually watch a fight,
you want Big John.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Another person that was there was UFC royalty, Royce Gracie.
Okay.
And a UFC boss. I had his name, but it didn't mean anything to me, so I just didn't write it down.
We'll just pretend it was Dana White.
Yeah. It wasn't, but
yeah.
That boss also offered Frazier a job at UFC after this fight. Big John's story disagrees with Dukes and says there was no sucker punch or weapons. Dukes threw the first punch during a loud argument. Dukes also lost the fight fair and square. Dukes, the ninja, honorably sues Frazier.
Oh, there's a lot of honorably suing going on with Frazier.
The suit is thrown out.
Yeah.
All these honorable suits are either dismissed or thrown out.
This is 93, I would imagine.
93,
yeah. Imagine there's cameras, people recording.
I love this.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the absurdity of it.
He claims that there was brass knuckles and a sucker punch. Meanwhile, all the other witnesses are saying, no, it wasn't a sucker punch. You guys were arguing and you hit first.
He can't even lose, right? He can't even lose. And first of all, the way I was picturing in my head was an exhibition, but this is just, it seems like a sucker punch during the middle of a show.
These are all trade shows.
Yeah, like right. Yeah, I love going to conventions.
They dance around and do a spinning high kicks and break boards. And, fancy stuff.
Fancy pants.
Yeah. Black Belt Magazine does a story on the life of Frank Dukes. John Stewart, the writer of Black Belt Magazine, different John Stewart.
Not the Green Lantern. I know you're thinking. I know the Daily Show. My mind goes to Green Lantern.
Oh, mine goes to Black Belt Magazine.
Oh, as most people does. Yes. John Stewart from Black Belt Magazine. Good job, buddy.
He writes an article about Dukes and the Kumite and said that he really regrets writing the articles. This is originally.
Yeah, right. A little retrospective.
He was naive at the time and believed Dukes, but now has nothing but regrets. Black Belt Magazine has investigated and said they've collected zero evidence or even clues that the Kumite now or has ever existed.
Right. So we're talking about the entirety of the tournament.
There's not even clues.
Yeah, the entirety of the tournament.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even find like a piece of wood that says.
Not only is there not proof, there's not even a clue that there could be proof if you follow this.
I mean, all right, if you go by even his logic, every 5 years or so, depending upon the way he wants to tell the story,
upon his bad math,
you would imagine that out of the 60 or so people that he claims that were taking part in the tournament, let's say even 50, let's give a high number that 10 passed and 50 survived the tournament. There are potentially hundreds of people out there that took part in this tournament. It is the claim that it's so secretive that everyone is denying it, while Frank is going around publicly stating that this is happening, basing his films off it, his life story. But everybody's keeping secrets, but Frank.
Frank is the only one keeping it real.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if real is the right term, but
please don't honorably sue me.
Is he still around?
Yes, he's alive.
Oh my God.
1996. The Secret Man. An American Warrior's Uncensored Story. This is Dukes' memoir, where I pulled a lot of this information from. The book has a foreword in it by Lieutenant Commander Larry Simmons, former head of SEAL Team 5. The foreword given by a decorated lieutenant does give credibility to the book. And there is a picture of Lieutenant Simmons and Dukes together with the blurb under it, talking shop.
Of course.
Simmons says,
filmed on the set of The Quest.
Right?
Yeah.
It was at a book signing, at a publisher thing.
Yeah. All right. So anyone can get it. Yeah.
Simmons says that he never talked shop.
I was gonna say it gives credibility to nothing.
Yeah. He never talked shop with Dukes. Simmons also says that Dukes and him had the same publisher, and Simmons wrote a generic foreword to Dukes as a favor to said publisher.
Right. This is like I took. Remember I showed you that picture I took of like me and Weird Al.
Yeah.
I got
at a deli.
No, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Middle of Times Square, I took a picture with Weird Al. That'd be like me putting a blurb under a blank, hanging out with my pal Al.
BFFs.
Yeah, BFFs. After this, gonna go get some beers and some brewskis.
And as for the foreword, Lieutenant Commander Larry Simmons said that after reading a few pages of the book, he knew he had, this is a quote, been deceived into lending credibility to a fraudulent endeavor. And he is not an American warrior. He is a con man.
A fraudulent endeavor. That'd be an awesome biopic of like Frank Dukes' life.
No.
Fraudulent endeavor. Yes.
No.
Not Bloodsport.
No, the human weapon.
Oh, for God's sakes. No.
The human weapon.
Fraudulent endeavor. Don't do this. Don't.
Human weapon.
Don't buy into what Frank Dukes is selling.
Soldier of Fortune magazine wrote an in-depth expose titled Full Mental Jacket.
Yes.
It's kind of funny, right?
Yes, it does. A little good play. And wildly accurate. Very appropriate.
Yeah. They called Frank's book, quote, literary laxative.
Oh.
They're really funny.
Yeah. They nail it. They're very good figurative language there over Soldier of Fortune magazine.
And much like you, punched holes in his military claims and exposes Dukes as being guilty of stolen valor. Dukes the Ninja honorably sues. Dukes loses the case.
Right. I mean, I would imagine to win the case, if you're what is that? With slander or libel, whatever. I always get too confused. But if you're going to sue for slanders or libel, you're going to have some credibility behind what you're suing for.
I think he's honorably suing for money.
A lot of honorably suing here. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure this is all civil and not criminal. Yeah. Right. But I meant. Like, all right, let's say you have to say, like, hey, he's lying about me. Okay, how is he lying about you? Show us the proof. And
the dog ate it.
Yeah, the dog ate it.
In that earthquake.
The CIA and the ninjas.
Yeah,
they all bury the truth. They don't want you to know.
It was the orphans.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Where's that 15-year-old orphan now? Where's that kid now? I mean, he's chill. Yeah, he's making a lot of enemies.
That 15-year-old to kill.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you would think you would like sick him. Like, like get that guy. Get the guy who wrote Full Mental Jacket about me.
I got a job for you, kid.
Yeah.
I'll give you $5,000 if you get Steven Seagal.
Yeah, right. Finally, a job. Finally, you're gonna help me out, for God's sakes.
There's a photo in the book of Dukes wearing a service uniform, wearing service ribbons, but they're from conflicting time periods and in the wrong order.
Yeah, like War of 1812.
In this same photo, he's wearing what looks like a real Medal of Honor. And Dukes says that it is in fact real, but it's one that's issued by the Army and not the Marine Corps.
Okay.
Duke says he doesn't know why the president of the United States of America gave him the wrong medal.
Reagan.
Years down the line, he changed his story and said that it was just a fun picture of him on his way to a costume party.
Yeah, right.
And years after that, he denies ever saying he was ever awarded a Medal of Honor to begin with.
So the photo of him with the Medal of Honor, or the wrong one at least.
He never said it was real.
He never said it was real.
No.
Presented it as such, but never said it.
He never said anything about that.
God help. Wherever you are, Frank Dukes, I hope you have found help. I hope you have found a life. Just imagine this. Like I always talk about like how there are years in my life when I first started teaching, I pretended to be. Remember the show Hanging with Mr. Cooper? I remember
the name.
It was a cool show in the 90s, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, the coolest teacher. I remember when I started teaching, I said, man, I want to be like him. I want to be like him. So I modeled myself after Mr. Cooper, the jeans and the button-down shirt and the really loud tie tucked. And
he tucked his tie in?
No, I was about to say, I cut myself short. I was going to say, but the shirt tucked into the jeans. And I thought he was the coolest guy ever. And when I started teaching, I'm like, I'm going to be like a fat white version of him. And I failed miserably because I was pretending to be somebody. And I remember going home like crying. I'm like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. But that was like 2 months of my life, 3 months of my life, let's say, pretending to be somebody. This guy's entire life is pretending to be someone he's not. And then kind of like arrogantly, and I wouldn't say violently. Well, I guess violently in the case of the trade show fight, but violently trying to protect this fallacy. I mean, at one point, and I know we talked about this flighty and disassociated kind of like reality thing, but he has spent his entire life pretending to be someone he's not. At one point, does that not get exhausting? Like, is that part? I mean, of course, I'd like to think that I'm not crazy, so I can't kind of relate to what's going on here. But I would imagine that just the endeavor itself is an exhausting exercise. Every day, you have to create your reality and then protect your reality from everyone who understands how reality actually works.
And this is a good time for me to say that we are exercising fair use. And if you're going to honorably sue anybody, sue him.
Wait, no. Don't do that. Don't do that thing.
I believe you, Frank.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Publisher HarperCollins is forced to pull the books off the shelves just weeks after releasing due to massive amount of fraudulent claims. Dukes maintains that the pulling of the books was his choice.
Why?
And he chose to do it for personal reasons.
Oh, okay.
So mind your business.
I don't want to reveal those personal reasons.
Mind your business.
God bless.
I wrote a book about myself. Mind your business.
We live in a world where he got a book published. He got a book published doing this.
Back when you couldn't publish your own book.
I know, right? Yeah. Like that's remarkable. I don't know if that's a comment on his tenacity or the general stupidity of most people. Like, that's it enrages me.
Now we're getting to closer times. 2016.
No.
Dukes was asked when in his prime, if he went into a modern day UFC world, if he joined the modern day UFC, would he be?
I started the UFC.
Would he be heavyweight champ? Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Oh God,
that was his quote.
How old is he? He's got to be 60.
I don't want to do the math. No. He said in his prime. So we're talking about Kumite.
Yeah. Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Well, of course I would. I invented the UFC.
Oh yeah.
I invented the letters
UFC.
Those letters didn't exist before me.
To Frank's credit, he did kind of in a way innovate the UFC.
Yeah, fine. By virtue of his lie,
bringing by the idea
right.
of different disciplines fighting each other.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah. He really did kind of do that.
I in order for the UFC to truly work in my mind, if you want to bring together all disciplines, you have to bring together like people who shouldn't be there.
They did. They brought in street brawlers and stuff.
Yeah.
Tank Abbott his style was street fighting.
Yeah,
but I think his style was brawler.
I'm talking about like janitors. Like I want, like
I think they joined too.
Right. I want to see
people
just
didn't make it on TV.
I want to see people who have no right being in the ring. Like, I think that's something that is lacking from a lot of athletic activities.
No, it's the Golden Gloves.
You need
anyone could join the gloves. You don't have to prove anything.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, you just need to have the balls to show up.
Okay, right. So I think every sport
which does take
needs something like that.
Guts to show
because
up.
you watch like Major League Baseball, for example. If you're old and you're really bored and you want to watch a sport and you're watching Major League Baseball, and you turn it on, right, and you see that guy pitching at like 90 miles an hour, and then someone hits it. And you're like, okay, great, but I need a reference point. I need someone who's terrible at it.
They did a show called Pros versus Joes.
Oh, get out of town. Yeah. All right, but so I need that in every sport. Then I need someone on like the NASCAR loop who clearly doesn't know how to drive. Or drive a car well.
Just watch amateur fights.
Okay,
you'll see some people get absolutely outclassed.
I need that,
especially in the Golden Gloves. You will see exactly what you're looking for. You will see
because I critique too much. Like I'll watch UFC, like, oh, I should have kept his arm up, but I'm like, no, I would have got destroyed. In reality, like it's easy for me on my couch to critique these sports, but I need a point of reference. I need something.
It's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You should join the UFC only because after how much you've protected Frank Dukes' stories, I want to see.
I think I can join the UFC. I used to read Black Belt magazine. I think I have what it takes.
You got it. You got it. Yeah. You should. After this, we'll sign up.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We're back to him beating the champ. At the time, in 2016, the UFC heavyweight champion was Stipe Miocic. He was 20-4 with 15 knockouts and 1 submission.
Okay.
At 240 pounds.
And Frank Dux.
We're going to get into Frank's record.
I said Frank Dux again.
Yeah.
Frank Dukes thought he would take that. Oh God, I can't wait to hear his record.
Now, these are the records that are on his website.
Get out of town.
Oh, he's active.
Not anywhere else.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Not in the Encyclopedia Britannica.
When you type in his name, this comes up all over the place.
Okay. What has he done? I mean, what is he claiming? I should say.
Most consecutive knockouts in a single tournament. 56.
So he knocked out in a Kumite tournament of 60 people.
He knocked out 56 people.
I would love to meet the other
consecutively,
3, right? Because it would have to be 3 other people that didn't, because he's the 60th.
Consecutively, which means
like fight after fight after fight, he knocked out 56.
The fact that the word consecutive is there, you really have to.
Yeah, you got to really give that a thought.
It means that he knocked out another 2.
Yeah,
it means it was 56 in a row.
Yeah,
and then he didn't knock one guy out, but he still won, and then knocked out the other 2.
This is the first in the list, by the way, and I'm already like just agitated. I'm agitated.
This is all the same Kumite as of right now. I'll let you know when we're out of the
Oh,
Kumite.
please do. Yeah.
Fastest recorded Kumite knockout, 3.2 seconds.
Okay, so 56 people knocked out, and he's doing it in 3 seconds.
And he did one of the people he did in 3.2 seconds.
So like 2 hours, he's good. He could burn through 56.
Well, that's a world record. They weren't all that fast.
I'm picturing like that scene like oh my gosh, I'm trying to blank, like an airplane when he's going through the airport and they're like, hey, you want to buy flowers? And he's knocking them all out, and it just keeps walking.
Wonderful scene.
Yeah. Robert Stack, when Robert Stack is doing that, he's going through the airport. Would you like to support?
Joey Souza was one of the guys.
And right, yeah. And that's how I'm picturing the Kumite tournament going. As Frank
pushing a flower in his face,
walking down, right, just walking down the line, knocking them all out one by one. In order, that's the only logical explanation for how this happened.
Fastest recorded Kumite knockout.
Yeah, 3.2, right?
Let me go back. Of those 56, those are 56 knockouts out of a 60-round tournament, which means when he changed his story, everyone just do-si-doed and went to the guy at the left, which means people were getting up from getting knocked out.
Yeah,
and
in 3.2 seconds.
And continuing to fight.
Right. I mean, do you have to wait? Like, so, like, let's say
it's a 3-day tournament.
Yeah, I understand.
You can't wait.
But you would have to. You would have to, because he just knocked his guy out in 3 seconds, and you got to wait for the other fights to be over before you do next.
I'm sure they're timed. Most fights have rounds and stuff.
Right, but in Kumite,
the fact that they're timing means that the fact that they're timing these records means that they're timing.
I'd love to see the record book. Where's the record book of all this?
His dog ate it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's secret.
Yeah, I know.
It's secret. Fastest recorded Kumite knockout, 3.2 seconds. Fastest recorded punch resulting in a knockout, 0.12 seconds. Now, they recorded the punch.
Yeah.
Which means there was someone there with a timer from that. I'd like to know if it was a jab.
Yeah.
Where your left hand, if you're right-handed, your left hand's in front of you, so it's a shorter distance, or if it was an overhand right, and where they started the punch and where they finished. Did they finish it at a contact? Or did they finish at,
like from shoulder?
Or did they finish at full extension?
I
I'd really like to know
0.12.
how they recorded that 0.12 seconds.
I actually am very curious now what in reality is the fastest recorded punch. I would imagine it wouldn't be during a fight. It would be under. Yeah, like under right. They're like they're timing. They're like
in a lab scenario.
Right.
Now that was recorded in seconds. The fastest recorded kick resulting in knockout, 72 miles per hour.
So in that record, what do they alternate?
Completely different unit of measurement altogether.
Yeah. So
a completely different unit of measurement.
We're just accepting that that's the okay.
I thought we were still on the airplane jokes.
Gotcha. Okay.
A completely different unit of measurement altogether.
A completely different unit of measurement.
Thank you.
No problem.
It's a callback.
I'm sorry I couldn't get back to airplane because airplane is more likely than this. And the events of airplane are more likely than this.
It is more likely.
Yes.
Surely it's more likely.
Of course it's more likely. Don't call me Shirley.
Now, I'd like to know how they recorded 72 miles per hour.
Maybe they had that like little baseball thing, where they catch.
Everyone brings that to the fights.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a guy whose job it is to shoot people with the radar gun. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at the secret underground karate fight,
they had all this.
At all 60 rounds, they probably had a guy with a radar gun, the laser gun.
So they
at all 60.
I was gonna say they had over 60 of these things.
I think it's pointing at all of their limbs.
I can only imagine. Wow, another record! Like he did it again. Fastest kick, fastest punch. Yeah, I don't know why this person is at the Kumite, but they're there. That person with that voice is there.
Shortest knockout time average for fight career. 1 minute, 20 seconds.
So that's what he's averaging.
That's what he averages for knockout, not finishing the fight. That's knockout time average for his career. 1 minute, 20 seconds, which means if he did one in 3.2 seconds, he was taking such a long time. I mean, what a come on.
I'm gonna rage right now. I'm gonna rage that these things are listed and I hope just to go back to what you said. This source is once again Frank Dux, right? This is from his
Dukes, as in put up your Dukes.
God's sakes, goddamn Dux. I read it for so long as Dux, and I can't once you got something in your head.
You saw the movie.
See, I know, but they didn't say his last name too much. They were mostly like
Dukes, as in put up your Dukes, right?
Yeah, right.
You didn't understand the badly dubbed introduction. First to achieve IFAA weapons form score of a perfect 10 because he was a combat decorated blade vet.
First to
Southeast
probably the
Asia.
only one to ever get that a perfect 10.
But it's a record, bro.
Yeah.
You didn't hear me?
No.
He's the first to achieve the IFAA weapons form score of a perfect 10.
May I read some of these other ones here? All right. So he's also the first Kumite fighter to exceed 300 matches. I got to tell you, of all the things so far, if this was a real thing, and we all kind of accept that it's not. If this was a real thing, this is probably the most understandable one. If this is something he's been doing for decades at this point, since the 70s, right?
75.
Yeah. So I mean that's kind of plausible. At the first Kumite fighter to be undefeated with over 100 matches. No, not buying it. So from 75 to 80, his final Kumite fight record is 329 matches. So I'm gonna guess if he's the first fighter to exceed 300 matches, and his total is 329, that probably other.
Before you go any further,
oh God,
I need to. He made an edit.
Oh, he did.
Frank made an edit.
Oh my God.
Dukes originally told Black Belt Magazine that his record was 321 wins.
Yeah.
With 1 loss and 7 draws. But in 2014, he told Access TV that he had a record of 329 wins, 0 losses.
Oh,
and
he
when,
never lost a match?
And when asked what happened, how did those that loss and those draws turn into wins, he said he never said anything about a loss and draws.
Jesus Christ.
He has 0 losses.
0 losses. 329 matches, 0 losses. And God help me, I don't want to say this wrong. What is this? Qigong?
Tug of war.
Yeah.
Standing on one leg.
Sweet Jesus.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is on YouTube. Please look it up.
Wait, this tug of war, standing on one leg, Frank.
Against 66 people in Zug, Switzerland. Now, I'm going to try to explain what this looks like before you guys go and log on and take a look at it. It's Frank holding a rope. There's 66 men on the other side of the rope.
Yeah.
And he leans back on the rope and lifts one leg. Someone rings a bell. And Frank goes, Yeek! And then lets go of the rope and starts high-fiving everybody.
I want that video erased.
I think he holds that position for as long as it takes for the first people to start to tug after that bell was rung. So he did hold it for a full half second, maybe.
Yeah, I'm enraged.
It's so impressive.
Is it?
Check it out on YouTube.
Okay, I will. I will probably not do that. I actually will fight. I will get that video off of everything. He's the first and only martial artist to break bulletproof glass barehanded. He's the international. That's for God's sakes. At the International Martial Arts Festival in Bercy Stadium in Paris, France.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I mean,
this is also on YouTube.
I was going to say, this sounds like this is 93. This has got some.
And a lot like a lot of performers, like the great Houdini, he gets to bring his own equipment.
So he brought his own bulletproof glass?
He brought his own bulletproof glass.
Made of sugar?
No, it's bulletproof. Didn't you hear what he said?
In 1993, multiple champagne bottle break, varying heights with a single kick. So he set a record for that as well?
Yeah. The bottles all broke. I've never seen a wine bottle shatter into such small pieces.
Oh yeah,
almost like it was made out of the same material a candy cane would be made out of.
Right. That's the like in Hollywood they use that sugar for glass. So 3 years after he had won the tug of war standing on one leg, he goes back and he does it in 1993 from a kneeling position, and this time from a kneeling position, in which I would imagine that your center of gravity would be just solely
not his.
No. Built like a tank. 23 people. And again, he's going back to Switzerland for this. I guess tug of wars are really big in Switzerland. Shout out to Switzerland. 1993, bottle break, vertical. I made up my own word, vertical palm heel. So he sets a record for doing this. And again, in Paris, France, they do like to break their champagne bottles there.
Yeah, now the bottle is full of liquid.
Sure.
So it's clearly unopened. So it's a real bottle.
I don't know if those are
he gets to bring his own material.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't
again. And a vertical palm heel means the bottle is actually set on a table so that it doesn't spill.
Yeah.
The top is taken off so that the pressure of the liquid inside can release.
Yep.
And he hits it down an open palm strike, not his fist, but an open palm strike downward. And I'll tell you, this bottle gets decimated into it kind of looks like a candy cane.
Again, yeah.
Tiny little pieces.
So I think I'm noticing a trend here.
Yeah.
So his last world record occurred in April of 1996. That's a lot of world records, by the way. When after a 13-year hiatus and retirement with 4,000 spectators and millions watching the telecast, Frank Dukes becomes the first and only human being to punch through bulletproof glass. So he does this. Okay. So he did all of this is on record. You could go on YouTube and you could watch all these records, well, not all of them, at least the bulletproof glass, the bottle breaks. They all look, like you said, like sugar glass, right? So, but this is all the same kind of crap that you see in movies, right? And listen, in movies, I love it. I want to suspend disbelief. I want to enjoy this, but I It's insane to think that he's going to present this as truth. Listen, if you want to do this at like a kid's party and you want to sell this and you want to, like, when they break, like, I remember when my son was in karate, he broke that wooden board, and I think a strong wind would have broke the wooden board too. If you want to present that, and it was fun, it was cool, but it was designed for a kid's party, and I think Frank Dukes should be there too. The only thing I will give him credit for, okay.
He started MMA.
Again, let's make sure we're clear on that. So anything that I'm going to give him credit for, and I do say this begrudgingly, because if you're going to give him credit for MMA, you really are giving credit to the stories he told, giving birth to interest about MMA or the concept of MMA. They took his obscene lie about the Kumite and turned it into something that was highly profitable. We talked about Vince McMahon and the purchase of TKO, the merger of TKO and or UFC and WWE into TKO, right?
Man saved orphans. What's your beef?
You know what? I'm going to give him credit. Because the coolest thing to come out of this is, Bloodsport was awesome to a degree, right?
No, the Bloodsport really was awesome.
to a degree. It really and I know your taste in movies, so you could watch it now and you'll still enjoy the heck out of it. I tried to watch it, like I said, recently, and shut it off about 10 times in the process.
It's nostalgic for me.
I don't have, my 80s movies were more like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and, kind of horror movies. So the action movies that if it was, even my action movies were like Predator or Aliens, like, borderline.
No, those are
science fiction.
Yeah, those are action movies.
Yeah. But I had that science fiction-ish
Terminator.
Yeah, exactly right. Those are the kind of movies I was watching. So Bloodsport wasn't on my adolescent radar. But one of the things that comes out of this movie, very directly inspired by Bloodsport, is Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Mortal Kombat wouldn't exist without Bloodsport, and Bloodsport wouldn't exist without Frank Duke's fabrication.
Johnny Cage,
right, yeah.
Johnny Cage is actually, his name was supposed to be Jean-Claude.
Yeah, the game was supposed to be Bloodsport.
And if you notice, Johnny Cage's character is the spoiled movie star.
Yeah. And and I think even recently they finally did get Van Damme to be in the game.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's like a full kind of circle with that. And really along these lines, this is I'm so glad, and I say this again, that this is the route that Frank Dukes went down, that he's essentially entertaining children in Switzerland and France. Why in the hell 40,000 people would gather around to see this? I have no idea.
They were there to watch something else.
I was going to say, thank God. It must have been something else, right?
Yeah.
Because if this man had gone down another route with this kind of narcissistic, disillusioned take on what reality should be, this could have ended badly. So thank God Frank Dukes went into writing and storytelling and not collecting skulls, like as a serial killer.
My only regret is the fact that he didn't take the $25,000
to go after Seagal. They did make more Bloodsport movies. They made 3 more throughout the 90s.
Yeah.
I think the last one was 99. The thing that I love about them, and I didn't see them, and God help me, I don't even think you could stream them.
I never saw them.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anyone did. I think the second one had like a somewhat of a theatrical run.
And they were straight to video, and straight to video in the 90s was hard.
Straight to video, yeah. I mean, Blockbuster was, and local video shops, mom and pops, were your bloodline for the, that's where you're getting some bank. But I think the funny thing about it is that there were 3 more movies, Bloodsport 2, 3, and then something else like Bloodsport 4.
Ogre was in the 3rd one again.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Still didn't watch it.
So I love that the main character of Bloodsport 2 and 3 is also the main character of Bloodsport 4. Oh, excuse me, I should say the main actor of Bloodsport 2 and 3. And you have to forgive me, I'm drawing a blank on his name, because I like good movies. Bloodsport 2 and 3 has this character, and then he's in Bloodsport 4.
But a different character.
A completely different character. Completely different character. Has nothing to do with any of the other movies.
That's worse than just taking them out.
Right. Why?
That's worse than replacing them.
There are millions of people on this planet. You know what the problem is? There are millions of people on this planet. They could have played this character, or he could have just played the same character again. There was no reason to do this. You know what the problem was? They were probably all at the Kumite. Kind of like Pennywise emerges every 27 years. The Kumite emerges every 5 years, and every single human being on the planet has to be there. So they were probably too busy fighting Frank Dukes somewhere else to be there.
Frank Dukes is still active on Twitter and YouTube, and
I have to go check out.
He's pretty much just throwing shade at all the haters.
Right. Well, you see, this is the problem of
do not bother Frank Dukes, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the problem of being someone like Frank Dukes in that you are always on the defensive. You're always on the defensive because,
his whole life.
Yeah, it's got to be exhausting.
He's got CAA after him.
Frank, just be. I don't even. I'm sure at this point, after decades of this, I don't even think he knows who he is anymore. There's got to be a point where any sense of self-identity has got to be muddled in with the stories that he's told.
As long as Frank doesn't take his samurai sword that he won at the Kumite,
and
cut his pizza in tic-tac-toe shapes.
Oh God, yeah,
he's okay by me.
He does seem like the kind of person that would enjoy.
But Frank, if you do that, I swear to God, I'm calling the cops.
There you go. Now you're turning on him. And that's what it took. Just the idea that he might enjoy.
I can't believe you would do that.
Just the idea that he might enjoy his pizza cut into tic-tac-toe shape.
Frank.
And first of all, I know we're the kids love us in Chile, right? Was that where it was? Peru. Sorry.
Hi, Peru fan.
Hi, Peru fan. The kids love us in Peru. But if you guys are enjoying your pizza cut into tic-tac-toe shapes, please know that as New Yorkers, that pizza does not represent us. If they call it a New York slice, just know that that's not who we are as people. We are good people. We would never do that.
And if you eat your pizza with a knife and fork, I swear to God.
Oh my God, we're coming for you.
I'm gonna give Frank $25,000 to get you.
Right after he gets Seagal. Everybody, that was our awesome deep dive into Frank Dukes. I hope you enjoyed the heck out of it. This is Tom from Nerds Night Out.
And this is Q.
And we hope you guys had a blast, and we can't wait to see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.
Deuces, everybody.
Double deuces.
You got me again.
Triple deuces. Is that a thing?